Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Addicted to Fishing. Sorry I haven't made a video, put one out in a couple of weeks, but I've been really busy with opening our new store. So today I thought I would try to put out a video because I finally have an off day. And I thought instead of doing like a regular tackle review, I've had some messages on other platforms asking, you know, what's in your tackle bag right now this time of the year? What are you throwing? What are you doing? So I thought I'd get that tackle bag out. You can see it's completely zipped up. And let's just open it up and see what's in there. First off, that's not in the box or the bag, but I do take it with me. And I'm going to snatch a lure that I found today. A little Bass Pro Shop square bill and a shad color where I was fishing. But I also carry this little box with some different square bills and stuff in it. This guy's had a chance to dry out, so I can toss it in that box. But I got a little square bill box, wake bait poppers, a hybrid hunter, these little Sebills, just a few different types of cranks that don't fit in the other box. And if I know I'm going to a place where I want to throw a square bill, a wake bait or something of that nature, I have this rock and ready to go. There's a few more baits that I don't have in there. This guy needs to go in there. As a matter of fact, while we have it out, let's just go ahead and toss it back in there. I just keep some of my stuff out until it has a good opportunity to dry so I don't get my hooks rusted. But that's one box that I'll keep in the car and I'll substitute in. This bag's got several little pockets, and there's some neat little things that I've done. On a big front pocket, what I'm keeping in there, and I'm not going to pull everything out, but it's just some lures that I'll cut off. Some little weedless heads that I haven't put anywhere. Now there's a few places that I go that I got to do a lot of walking. So if I know I'm just going to carry just a couple of things, I have a little pack of hooks. Again, a couple of baits where I'm just keeping them separate so they dry out. I've shown you this before, talked about this before, carrying spinner baits or chatter baits, and you can use these, carry some extra skirts to change the colors. And then this little hodgepodge of different hooks. I believe there's some nail weights and some other things in there in that pocket too. I keep my wacky tool, but more importantly, and I've gone over this before too, my little lure knocker. So that's kind of in this little front compartment. It's usually just a hodgepodge of stuff that's waiting to be put away. And I'll save the bigger two compartments for last. And one of the top pockets, my bait ball bodies, and just some minnow style baits that I'll keep. Some of the Z-Man Micro Finesse, some different little minnow style baits, my little flashback minis. I've started picking these up, and I'm liking the action I get off of this. These are by Lake Fork. They call it a baby shad in 2.5. For that great little chatterbait trailer. What else might be in there? The original flashback mini bodies. I really don't care for them a whole lot, but I will use them. That's in one of the small top pockets. The other small top pocket, and I'm pulling pretty much everything out of here. It's just my go-to color spark shads. This is in that lemon shad, Hayu, and silver shad. As you can see, guys, there's a lot of places I go, and I got a finesse fish. There is a couple mesh compartments on each side. In those, sometimes you'll find some baits that are still waiting to dry out, or a body that I take off. I got these off of AliExpress. These are some hover rig weighted. On the other side, on the lower, and this is where, and I'm not going to pull all these out, but this is something new that I've been experimenting with to keep a lot more tackle and save space. I've got my spinner baits, and I'm keeping them all in these little bags, so I can keep a couple spinner baits per bag, saving space, saving weight. And it also allows me, and I keep some extras in my bag just in case. I got a real tiny pocket. Looks like I've only got one left, so I'll throw a couple more in there. And what that's doing is, if I'm taking a crankbait off, or more importantly a bait with a skirt on it, I can throw it in there. The same pocket on the other side, I've got the same kind of setup. Mainly all chatter baits. I do have some swim jigs, but you kind of get the picture. I'm using these little bags. You can get those at Walmart, 100 of them, for a couple of bucks. They come in a pack just like this. These will last me forever, but I can take a few of these bags out. These are the little bit bigger ones. Again, like I said, if I'm trying to keep something that's wet away from something else, especially if it's got a skirt on it, I like to throw it in there so it keeps away the water from everything else. In one of my mesh pockets, I do have my gator. This particular hoodie has the hood, and it has a built-in gator, but if I'm out in the real sunny and I'm trying to protect my face, I've got the gator. We'll do the top, and then we'll do where the trays are in the top. I've got a bunch of different baits. My bait ball spinner rig is up there. This is mainly where I'm storing my soft plastics, my little minnow style baits, the paddle tail swim baits. This is more of a full pack so you can see it. These are the Champs little minnow style bait. A couple more spinner baits that are not even out of the package yet. Some of the Hellgrammites. I do have a pack of tungsten weights up there. The razor shads. It's all my chatterbait trailers. You can see I'm keeping, these are a knockoff of the drift shad. The Hellgrammites. This time of year I'm throwing them Hellgrammites a lot. Some Senkos, some of the small size Senkos. More minnow style baits. You can see I keep a lot of minnow style baits. I've been doing the minnow style baits long before the whole forward facing sonar controversy came out. It's a little rig I caught the other day. Just a couple of little jigs. I needed to pull that out anyway. I got a pack of lizards in there. Some of these things I gotta move and put them where they actually belong. There's some drop shot weights. Some trash. That's the nice thing about this too, is that when I'm out and about, one of my Senkos, one of the minnow style baits, is I can keep my trash picked up. There's that little Champ minnow that's done a lot of damage. There's a spark shad. I want to pull all these little lures out that I'm just pulling off. I kind of chuck them in the top until I get a chance to go through the bag. Sometimes those baits will just lay in there all summer, all fishing season. Let's see if I've got anything other than minnows. Some Zaccos, some more Hellgrammites. You can see, guys, I got tons of these minnow style baits, tons of Hellgrammites. If I'm fishing for bass in some of the ponds, I got some crazy lake chigger crawls in there. the only Googan bait that I've bought to date, and I really do like it. Designed by Scott Martin, is the Bandito bug. That Bandito bug, you guys, I know a lot of people don't like to support Googan, or they got an opinion about Googan. But I'm here to tell you right now, that Bandito bug catches fish. It doesn't hold up very well. Here's that little chatterback mini that I was talking about. This has one of those minnow style baits on it. And I'll explain to you guys a little bit more about this finesse stuff. But that's pretty much, you're going to find almost all minnow style baits and hellgrammites right now. My chatterbait trailers. Let me pull this phone up, show you that bag. This is that top compartment of that bag. Sorry, I don't have a program that allows me to flip the camera. But when I was talking about, and these are like a Zaco style, but they're from Lake Fork. Where are they at? Here you go. These are in this, what do they call it? Hot Cricket. You can see this body. I don't have one out. Let me pull one out real quick. It's got that segment of body, just like a Zaco. And it pairs up nicely to this mini chatterbait. This is a 3-inch minnow, but this 2.5 minnow matches up perfectly on there. And I really enjoy the action that I get out of a Zaco. Let me put my bait ball back. This is right now when going around, there's a lot of shad. I am throwing that bait ball around. Like I said, I keep these little plastic bags, and then what I can do is I can take a few baits that I pulled off, and I think there's still some life in them. Maybe there's a small tear, and I can come home and super glue it or take a lighter to it and put it back. This one I had out, this is a little hover rig with a hellgrammite. This happens to be a white. I was fishing around some spawning fish. And when I'm around spawning fish, I like to be able to have something bright so I can watch them inhale it as soon as they inhale it, because they're going to suck it in and spit it right back out as fast as they can. I got a front mesh compartment that's got my split ring pliers, cutters, pliers, those sort of things. And now we'll get kind of into the meat and potatoes here. And I'm able to store 5 of these 3600 size boxes in there pretty comfortably. Let's just pull them all out and then we'll go through them one by one. I need to put this little drop shot away when I get to that box, and it looks like it's going to be the first box. So this first little box, and I got 2 of these Cast King, but this is like the terminal tackle. And this is all kind of my finesse terminal tackle. I've got some small unweighted swim bait hooks, with that spring keeper on them. And the same keeper, but a little bit of weight on there. Some pegs or bobber stops, tube hooks that I'm using, and that for my hover rigging. Yeah, I got a bunch of those hooks in there. I use that the hover rig. I've got a bunch of those in there. Some small swim bait heads, mushroom heads, nail weights, some real small bullet weights, my wacky rings. That pretty much covers that one. It's just a small terminal box. This is all my finesse stuff. This box, another Cast King box. This has some inline spinners in it, some small jig heads. These are the VMC boxers. The Megabass Okashira head, both with the screw lock with that little blade on it. Of course, you got my version. This is on a ball head. Several of them on a ball head. That little finesse style jig head. Put that blade on there. I thought, yep, some regular Okashira heads without the blade. Like I said, there's some rooster tails, some underspins. There's actually a tail spinner in here, but that's pretty much what's in that box. This is set up for smallmouth. And then where I'm going, there's quite a bit of crappie and white bass. So we'll target those guys. This little, next is the Plano Edge style. I'm really digging this Cast King, but these are pretty much the same box. It's just the way that they're hinged, and obviously the price. This is just my micro crank box. It's got a bunch of different micro cranks in it. If I'm fishing and matching that hatch, and I need to go down to a small craw, small glide baits. There's some small jerk baits, small top waters. This is a small gunfish. This is Zara pup, poppers, lipless. The new Berkley finishers, which I actually got to fish one of these guys the other day, and I'm really digging the action that you get out of the finisher. This one just happens to be the first one that came loose. I got it in like a pearl white, a fire tiger, and then kind of this shad color. Again, guys, I'm trying to keep my colors as simple as possible, and you'll see that in most of mine. You got some kind of chartreuse or red, some kind of white silver to mimic a shad, and that's pretty much going to be the bulk of that. The next box, still, going into that, definitely finesse-y. I've been finesse fishing quite a bit. I've got the regular micro chatterbaits. Smallmouth really kill those. I catch a lot of different sunfish and crappie, and I'm fishing in these little shallow creeks. Those work well. I keep my flashback minis in there. And these are the real small ones. This is a little bit bigger size, and then I got the real small ones. Some blade baits in here. Micro spinner baits. See if one of them will pull out. Most of these are like the coverts or little strike kings. Got those in there. A little bit heavier, little chatterbait, a scrounger, some spoons, and then sometimes I'll be fishing a jig, and or I want a weight that I don't have for a spinner, so I've got some little spinner hookups. I bought a bunch of them at Walmart when they were clearancing them out for like 3 cents a pack. I've got these Willow Vibes in here. I really like those. I catch the walleye, the sauger, the sawguy on those. It's just a different variation of a chatterbait. But again, this is just all micro stuff, all finesse-y type stuff. And then we get into some of the bigger cranks. And this one's in the bag at all times, where the other one's not. You can see it's just a 3500 or 3600 series. I got some Yazuri pencil poppers, lipless. There's a Man's Baby -1, more lipless. The CB001s from Lucky Craft. These are like a Yozuri -1, I think is what they call these. A bunch of lipless. And again, if you look at my, sorry guys. If you look at my lipless, you're going to find, shad colors, maybe some greens, some reds. This is 6 cents like Hybrid Hunter. I forget what they call that one. There's a couple more top waters in here. But again, you're going to find mostly, there's some cheap cotton cordels. I really like the cotton cordell Super Spoot or Super Spot. Great little inexpensive lipless crank. My Spro. And you can see the colors are reds, some of these pencil poppers are in a ghosty type color. If the water happens to be clear, one of them's got a green back, the other one's got a blue back. I still got a lot of my red colors in here. I did pick up this big 13 Fishing top water. I haven't used it yet, but it's kind of like your Czar Spook. Got that dude off of Whatnot for like $1. Same thing with these little Sebeals. Kind of cool thing here, and I'll cover this in another video and go into more detail. But real quick, you got two different baits here that are pretty much working in the same. So you like Czar Spook type baits, and then you're gonna walk. And if I don't throw it, you're gonna walk the dog with these. You know, you're gonna get this type of action out of it. Along with that, let me move that Quake out of the way. You know, gunfish will do the same thing. You see gunfish is in a shad color. So I try to keep shad colors, and I try to keep my colors simple, stupid. That's the way I think about it. But this little guy, this is a Sebile stick shad. Some of these will be floating. Some of them they have the treble in the front and the two hook in the back like a frog hook. And you see in the other box I had a bigger one. This is just the smaller version. Let me pull this big dude out. I think the big dude's a sinker. That one's a floater. Of course, there's a huge difference in the size. This one actually comes with two of the trebles. Problem is with these stick shads is they're kind of hard to find. I got some places where I can get them. But the cool thing about this stick shad is you're able to walk the dog with this subsurface, especially if they're a sinking version. It says it's a 90 float, so it's 90 millimeter. But it's another great presentation that the fish, in my area definitely have never seen. But yeah, that's another great little bait to throw. Maybe this little dude. I don't know if it'll say it. Yeah, this one. I think it's a 60 millimeter SU, so I think it's a real slow sink. But again, guys, that's something that around here anyway. I know people aren't. I don't ever see anybody throwing it. Don't hear nobody talking about it. But it's a subsurface like walk the dog type bait. But anyway, guys, that's real quick. Not so quick, but a quick video on what I'm carrying in my tackle bag. Let me throw some of this stuff in here. But I try to keep my backpack light, and then what I'll do is I go to some of the places, like the ponds that I go to. I may take this bag with me too. It's got a lot of different soft plastics in it. I'll throw this in my car. I'll throw my big backpack in there, along with this separate little box. Maybe I take a 3700 series box that I need a bunch of different lipless cranks. Or if I'm on a red color bite, I can grab one of my red boxes. I've got one set up with terminal tackle, some extra line and stuff, and this is all in a big tote. Those big black Plano totes. Again, guys, I'm sorry I kind of have to do it this way, but you can see it right here. Just got a bunch of different tackle boxes in it, and I can throw that in my car, and when I go to the lake, depending on what I feel or that I know that I've been catching them on, I can have extra baits lined up, and especially when I'm going hiking out at the lakes, or it's an old golf course that you turn into a preserve. I can have a bunch of different tackle, but then I can, if I know I'm going and I'm catching them all on the small baits, I can take, my crankbaits out, because one of the ponds is full of hydrilla. I really can't throw a crankbait in there too much. I'll throw a lipless around. But that's pretty much what's been working for me. The 3 rods that I've been carrying, I'll even cover these for you guys real quick. In no particular order. So one of my crankbait rods, this has got a Shimano Curado 200 DPV on it. I love this old school 5.0 to 1 reel. You see I got a chatterbait on it, but I'll keep this to throw my lipless and other crankbaits on. If I know I'm going to be throwing the square bills, I do grab that St. Croix rod. It just works a lot better for lipless, square bills. And then I'm carrying 2 spinning rods. This one happens to have a Hellgrammite on it, drop shotted. And I really hate not having a way to, I need to put something on here or figure out a way. Maybe I could just put it on the hook. No, it falls off. But this is actually a, I think it's the shaky head rod, the Wright McGill Skeet Reef, Shimano Sahara 3000 series, 15-pound straight braid. Getting a little extra feel with all that bottom contact. Then the other one that I'm carrying, and this one just happens to have a sonar minnow, a Yum sonar minnow. It's got one of those heads that I showed you. Shimano Mirabelle, 15-pound braid, St. Croix Triumph. This is a 6.6. It's a medium light fast action. And what I'm looking for, especially when I'm hover rigging, hover strolling, doing some of that kind of free rigging and stuff like that, is what I'm paying attention to more than anything is the lure rating on here. This will load at an 1/8 of an ounce, and it maxes out about a 1/2 ounce. I don't even get anywhere near pushing that 1/2 ounce. But this is a great little setup. This is what I've been throwing a lot, been wrecking a lot of fish on that little hover rig. That's a new hook that I just got. Again, I ordered off AliExpress. Guys, if you haven't checked out AliExpress, I highly recommend that you do. Yes, there is a lot of knockoff baits on there from other companies. Terminal tackle that I've gotten from there has been great. Nothing's let me down. There's some knockoff cranks and stuff. If you're in areas like me and you're fishing in rocky areas, it's a great way to save some money on baits. Another bait that I picked up on clearance at Walmart, and I've thrown it around a little bit, is the new Berkley Nessie. It's a soft glide bait. This is the Nessie 5. So it's 11 grams. It says 2/5 ounce. It's a 5-inch. It's got a number 5 treble hook in it. I'm looking here. They call this hitch. I'm really liking this bait. I like the action that I'm getting out of it. It does have a way to retain the hook in it. I have fished it even though it's back in the box. I like to keep a lot of my baits in the package so it'll keep it nice and straight. But the nice thing about this glide versus the typical hard glide baits or some of the bigger glides, and I don't have one out right now, but this thing's able to fold up inside the bass's mouth, where a lot of those resin type baits, they're hard, and they don't fold up inside the bass's mouth. So this is definitely interesting. I'm curious to see what the hookup ratio is going to be on that. Supposedly it holds the fish a little better. Some new stuff that I got in that's Japanese or JDM, and this one is straight. I have no idea, but I thought this was interesting. It's going to be kind of more like that Sebile. I got to put that in the bag. I want to try that. And then this one's from Biwa. It's 3/4 of an ounce. It's called the Divininator Junior. It's a Hybrid Pro Series tail spinner. I haven't taken it out of the box. Let's do that real quick here. Okay. So this is kind of it's a soft bait. I'm gonna call it a soft bait tailspin. You got the jig hook up top, plus you got a treble stinger down below. I would prefer that stinger, and I probably will insert that maybe into the body to help keep it weedless. I don't know yet. But I definitely like the underspin and tailspin, so I think that's going to be a good player. There was a guy on Whatnot that was liquidating a lot of his stock for some personal reasons, and I picked up these I picked up a handful of baits from him real cheap. I'd never see anything like that. Definitely never see anything like that. This dude is heavy. Only thing I can read on here is 9 centimeters and 19 grams, I guess is what it's saying. But this is kind of a unique little bait. I need to get this in the bag and get it out and throw it around a little bit to see what this thing is all about. You see it's got a band on it to hold the hooks close to the body. Yeah, SO6 19G, so it's 19 grams. Your hook ties on this end. I guess you're going to throw this out and it's going to be kind of like a rip bait. Maybe you can walk the dog subsurface with this. If not, it's going to be more like a rip bait. I wish I could tell you more about it. I don't know how it fishes. The hook seems pretty stout. It's heavy. Of course, at 19 grams, it should be heavy. I think that's like half an ounce. But everything is in literally Chinese. So anyway, guys, that's just a quick video. I wanted to stop in and say hi. It's not a quick video. It's a long video. Some of you people like the long videos. Some of you like the real short videos. Some of them I'm kind of doing both with it. But I haven't been able to get on and put out a video in a while. I've been flat exhausted. The couple of times that I've had some break in work, my release and my de-stress from the world is being out on the lake and being out there fishing. So that's what I've done. And again, I apologize. I've been trying to put out videos on a regular basis. Hopefully work life kind of subsides and I can get back to putting out videos on a regular basis. If not, I thank you all for being patient. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do. Comment, like, share. Hit that notification bell. It really helps me out. It lets me know when I'm putting out good content for you guys and that you like. There's a couple of you that comment quite a bit, and I appreciate you. I appreciate all the interaction that I get. And it's just fun. You know, this is what I enjoy. And I just hope to bring some good information out there to you guys. I know there's going to be some more hectic chaos coming up. I'm looking at a move. So I'm hoping for the move's sake, work life just calms down so I can get things taken care of in a timely fashion. But anyway, thanks guys. I've gone on long enough here for us. We'll see you in the next one.